Vergil, how are you, man? Good to see you. I see you're in your car. You're probably getting out of the gym. I don't know. How you been?
I'm pretty good. How about you? No, I this is where I get like my little privacy over here. I don't like doing the interviews in the house.
Awesome, awesome. So anyway, let's talk about your fight. I mean, you have a big fight coming up. You know, you're facing Maurice Hooker on March 20th at Dickies Arena in Texas, and people can see this fight in on DAZN in what is yet another fight that could get you more recognition, I will say, and more eyes to turn into what you're doing because you're doing really great things. What kind of challenge do you expect when you meet Hooker on March 20th?
I mean, I expect a challenge. He's a very tough challenge. He's been in there with the best. He's been in there with with my friend Jose Ramirez. He's been in there with a lot of champions before. He's been a world champion himself as well. So it's not going to be an easy fight. We're just training hard every day to make sure that we're ready for it.
Virgil, he's coming up from 140 to 147. We know he's a fighter with a lot of experience. You mentioned that, and this will fight basically will shape up the whole division. Is this your toughest fight yet? I would like to say that it's also your 17th fight, professional fight. So, is this your toughest? You feel that this will be the toughest one?
I do think that this will be the toughest one. He's there's definitely a lot of supporting behind that. He's still in his prime. He's 31 years old. He has a long reach. He's he is 140 going up to 147, but some people are saying that he's going to be small or that some people are going to say that he's small because he's coming up in weight, but really, that just means he's going to feel a lot better. Going up to 147 for the first time. So, he's going to feel a lot stronger. He's going to feel more comfortable. So, we got that going as well. And, other than that, yeah, I mean, he's a, he's a fighter. He's a very competitive fighter. And that's always dangerous as well.
He won't be that easy to put asleep, though. You feel that?
Uh,
You feel that way too?
I mean, I'm not really worried about that. He has only been knocked out one times, but I don't look for the knockout. I
Hmm.
just, if it comes, then I'm going to take it. But it's gonna come because I'm doing the right things. I'm not trying to force it. If the right punch lands and it starts going downhill for him, then that's when I'm gonna take over.
That was kind of like my next question because I wanted to mention that you have 16 fights, 16 knockouts. Do you feel that every time you get on the ring, you must do a knockout, or does your game plan revolve about that? Does it not really? It's not really part of your plans every time you get in there because you're doing a hell of a
I mean,
job
of
in there.
course, yeah, of course, everyone wants to get the knockout. That's pretty much the best way to beat someone.
Mhm.
But that's the only part of my plan is just to win and look good doing it. And you can do that without getting the knockout. But it's just it if it comes, if I happen to hurt him with a certain punch, then I'm gonna go for it. Then I'll start going for the knockout. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna start looking for the knockout as soon as the first bell rings.
Now, do you feel that if you were to beat Hooker with other than a knockout, that people will see it as a sign of I don't know that maybe something went wrong for you?
Um, some people could probably think that, that, but those are probably the people that expect me to knock out everyone. And I mean, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a day where I don't knock out someone, and they're gonna ask that regardless of which fighter it is. So I'm not really worried about what people have to think.
Now, you are in a very powerful division right now. I mean, you have Terence Crawford or Spence, Manny Pacquiao, Sean Porter, etc. So, who would you like to fight next, or who do you have your mind set to next?
I mean, I would love to fight any of those guys. I think the most realistic fight that can be made is with Crawford. He's with Top Rank. He's go to Muay Top Rank. They work together. They do some fights with each other. So I think that's the probably the most realistic fight that can be made.
Now, changing a little a little gears here. So we know about your friendship with Ryan Garcia. What was your thought on your of his fight with Luke Campbell?
I thought it was a really good fight actually. You know, it was pretty scary at first when it got dropped. You know, I was kind of scared. You know, the way he fell, I'm like, oh shit.
Mm.
But you know, he's a warrior, and he came back. And you know what? When okay, so first of all, he took that shot pretty good. When he got back up, his legs weren't all. You know, he wasn't like on spaghetti legs or anything. He got up, his legs were right under him, and he he came back and started fighting back. You know, that's one thing that I noticed from him. You know, other fighters would have started running and all that stuff, but he came back and he started fighting. He wanted to get it back, and that's what I like. I like what I saw from him.
So do you get worried for a second there? Like, I know you just said the expression that you thought about, but do you get worried about like maybe he was not be able to recover because that was the first time that he ever touched the ground?
Yeah, I mean, I was worried. Just didn't want to see him get caught again. Cause you know, it happens. You know, stuff like that happens. You know, it's boxing. Everyone gets hit. But I was just, it's different seeing your friend fight. You know,
Hmm.
so of course I was a little worried, but you know, it's Ryan. You know, he's one of the best boxers in the world right now. So I wasn't too worried.
Do you call him? Do you text him? How do you communicate with him
Yeah,
after him? Mhm.
I DM'd him on Instagram. I told him he did a good job. He said thanks.
Awesome. Uh, do you also? I know there was also a situation, and I'm not gonna like go deep into that. But do you guys talk about the whole face of boxing situation?
No, no, that's I feel like when it comes to that, it feels more like a competition, and I
Mhm.
mean, you know, it's not really we're not really about that. We don't care like, oh no, I'm the face of boxing, or you know, we're not competing about that. We really don't care about that. At least not between each other. You know, it's just something we don't worry about.
So we know that you're from Texas, and Texas is going through a really bad situation right now with the climate and everything. Were you affected, or anyone close to you affected with the situation in Texas right now?
I wasn't. I'm in Texas. I'm in California right now, but yeah, pretty much. My grandma and our my brothers, my mom. You know, they were they had a first of all, my mom had to drive all the way to Dallas and bring my brothers and sisters to my house because they didn't have any power.
Wow.
We didn't have any power as well. Well, actually, my neighborhood was doing like rollouts, like they were giving power for like an hour and then they would like stop for a little bit and come back.
Mhm.
Over there they weren't getting power at all, and they were just keeping warm at my house. You know, it's very well insulated. We got a fireplace, so they just stayed at my house and they stayed there the entire time, maybe for like 3 4 days. I think it's okay now. It's like 70 degrees now over there, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was pretty bad all last week.
And now with the cases that people are saying that they're getting bills of $5,000, $9,000 for the electricity just for
Damn,
those days. It's so crazy. Um, so you and
I
Hooker
had
are
no
from,
idea.
yeah, it's been it's been crazy right now. So you and Hooker are from Texas, and you will fight in Texas. So this is not very it's not a very common thing. So it's kind of like a blessing, no? How important is
Yeah.
this fight, knowing for what your hometown went through?
Oh, it's you know what? I didn't even think about it. Yeah, that is actually pretty important. You know, just to lighten it up a little bit, to just to put on a good show for the people of Dallas and Fort Worth. It's gonna now that I think about it, it is a blessing to be fighting over there after such a hard time.
Then I have a last couple of questions. Last year, you were honored with a second mural in your hometown, Grand Prairie. I don't know if I said it right, but what kind of feelings come through you when you see these type of acts of fans and people that believe in what you've been doing?
You know, it makes me feel proud, also humble. You know, it's just for the kids to see. You know, the one of the murals is right there by the high school, and that
Mm.
means pretty much every day that those kids see that mural going to the school. You know, I just hope that it inspires them and it motivates them to do the very best that they can, because you know I came out of that city too. You know, there's really not much going on in that city. You don't you don't hear a lot of people coming out of that city. So I just hope that they know that with hard work, I know it's kind of cliche, but it's cliche because it's the truth. With hard work, you can do anything. You just got to set your mind to it and just try your best every day.
And lastly, Vergil, how do you envision yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'm definitely a top five pound for pound fighter. If not the top fighter. It's so many things that I'm hoping for that happens, but I'll for sure be a world champion already. I think I'll be a world champion at 47 and 54 already. I'll probably be at 154 already. Um, I think that's what I can think of right now, but that's the plans right there.
Awesome, Vergil. Thank you so much for your time. And remember, Vergil Ortiz, Maurice Hooker on the 20th of March at Dickies Arena in Texas. Again, you can follow us in all our platforms at LA Times en Español and my platforms at Jat El Reda. Thank you so much, Vergil. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.